Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who...
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
So this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team.
All right. Hey, guess what? Good evening. It's just 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we are broadcasting from beautiful. We are broadcasting from beautiful Barbados, and to all my fellow Bajans, good evening to all of you. Excuse me? I'm live on the air right now. No, I didn't. I didn't say Barbados. Why would I say Barbados? I didn't say Barbados. I said nothing about Barbados. Hey, guys, I'll be back in a minute, please. This is ridiculous. I started the show. I said good evening. We're broadcasting from beautiful Guyana. Some folks in the background say that I said Barb. Come on, man. I'll be right back, guys.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Seriously, how many of you guys heard me? I started the program. I said, good evening. My name is Mark Benshop, and I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Georgetown, Guyana. Somebody shouted, oh, you said Barbados. So ridiculous. Come on, guys. I'm now starting the program. How many of you guys, did anybody hear me say Barbados at all? Did I say that? Why would I say Barbados? Maya Motley is just a snitch. She's just all over the place. She visited Guyana. She pretended as though she loved Guyana. Then she's in Venezuela. She's all over the place. She is what you call a hustler. So why would I come on this program, on this show, on 107.1 FM and say Barbados? Did I say Barbados? Why would I? You guys are something else, man. Seriously. Sometimes I don't know even why I sit here and why all of you saying that I said Barbados. Look, I went to Winifred Gaskin Memorial Secondary School, one of the best secondary schools under quarantine. And so there is no way that I would sit here and say Barbados. I can't. You guys share the link. I'll be back, man. If I'm in a better mood, I'll be back. Thank you.
Basement level vibes with another one. Straight up blackness, aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family.
Hi there. Good evening. My name is Mark Benshop. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 10 minutes after 9 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. And for those of you who are joining us now, wherever you are, if you're listening to us, from Multi out there in North, if you're listening to us all across 83, all across Guyana, 83. Wherever you are listening, watching this show, good evening to every single one of you. And if you're celebrating your birthday today, whether it's 72 years old, speaking of 72, a lady, 72 years old, graduated with her master's degree at, from the University of Guyana. She's 72 years old. Congratulations to that lady. She doesn't look 72. All right. If she's watching, congratulations to you. And then there's another, I think she's 62 or 63. I know her. She's from Roxanne Burnham Gardens. She graduated. Marcus is her last name, with her bachelor's degree. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. But for those of you who are celebrating your birth anniversary today, if you're 15, if you're 16, if you're 13, 20 something, 30 something, even if you're 83, you know what I mean? All right, so what's happening in your neck of the wood as we begin to, let me see some of your comments. I don't know, people are saying 83 this and 80. What's the matter with 83 square miles and 83? What's going on, guys? What have I missed? Come on, all you multi guys. I'm being honest with you guys. I don't know what you're talking about, especially the ones from multi. What have I missed? Come on, Booker and the whole crew, Bess and Beyonds and MK Blair. What did I miss? All of you guys are laughing. I see 83,000 square what? I see 83. I don't know. What have I missed? Somebody's saying, ask the top cop. Oh, is that what you guys are talking about? We've got to get to the bottom of this because I want to find out what's going on. If you guys, and I'm dead serious. If you guys are poking fun at our commissioner of police, not the one in New York City, but the commissioner of police of Guyana, the acting commissioner of police, I don't think that is nice at all. At this point in time, you guys, and this is where a lot of you guys and I are going to go our separate path as of tonight. I do not believe that at this juncture, especially since Venezuela is attempting to take a big portion of Guyana, that we should I can't be an actor, man.
I've lived in Guyana and I've attended multilateral school. And for my primary days in school to secondary school, I've learned and I've understood that Guyana covers 83 square miles of landmass. I didn't hear that. Square miles, I said that. I said 83,000 square miles.
You guys are not listening. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of you guys. Y'all don't listen. Y'all quick to jump to conclusion. There's nothing there that we should be laughing about. The man never said that. There are far more important things for us to focus. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I've lived in Guyana and I've attended multilateral school. And for my primary days in school to secondary school, I've learned and I've understood that Guyana covers 83 square miles of landmass. I didn't hear that. Square miles, I said that. I said 83,000 square miles.
Good evening, guys. 83 square miles, 83. You guys are not listening. And see, that's the problem with the country. You guys are not listening. Good evening to the acting commissioner of police, Clifton Hicken. He just got his master's degree from an international college out somewhere in England or Australia. He got it through Nations University out in Guyana. And he got his master's now. He passed common entrance too, and he went to multi. All of you guys who attended multi. Somebody, Kenneth Freeman, is asking whether the acting top cop got a master's. Of course he got master's. He just graduated with his master's. In fact, he has two masters. Two masters he got. Jack Dale and Irfan. And he just collected another master's, so that makes it three 3 masters he got. The only person in Guyana, the only top cop with 3 masters. Irfan, 3 masters he got. Irfan, Jack Dale, and Robeson Ben. 3 masters. Somebody's saying that he bought his masters. I don't know. Good evening. Roberto Gonzalez, we'll have to ban you from this show here. Good evening to all of you guys. Roberto Gonzalez. Guess why we have to ban Roberto from this show? We no longer trust Roberto. Roberto has been with us for a while, but Roberto is getting braver and braver and braver every single day. We got to ban Roberto. Roberto got to change his name. Roberto Gonzalez. We haven't seen him for a while, but since Venezuela has this, what is the referendum? The so-called Mickey Mouse referendum in Venezuela, December 3rd. Roberto Gonzalez, change your name. Good evening to you. Buenas noches. Change your name, Roberto. Change your name. All right. What else is there that we can talk about? It's anywhere else in the world, the commissioner of police, if he made a mistake, in this case, of course, any little child would know that Guyana, all of Guyana, not just OIL, but all of Guyana happens to be 83,000 square miles. And it's, of course, probably a slip of the tongue. If the acting commissioner of police doesn't know that, well, we are in serious problems in Guyana. And outside of that, the man obviously made a mistake. We all heard what he said, and then he denied it. He said he didn't say it. How can we trust? If he had given evidence in court, then in the US and those places, this guy lying and he's denying that he said something, all of those cases would have been thrown out. Every single one of them. Listen to the acting commissioner of police, someone whom the PPP is extremely proud of.
I've lived in Guyana and I've attended multilateral school. And for my primary days in school to secondary school, I've learned and I've understood that Guyana covers 83 square miles of landmass. I didn't hear that. Square miles, I said that. I said 83,000 square miles.
Look, he again made a mistake. He didn't want to admit that he made a mistake, but yet anyway, I think that's what have people just going at it. Tomorrow's press conference by who. Let me see if you guys recognize this person who sits at a so-called press conference and lies and lies and lies that come out of that press conference. It has gotten the entire nation in total depression. Let me see if you guys recognize this person at his usual comical press conferences. Let me see if you all recognize him. I'll look for your comments in the section. Waiting. Do you guys recognize this person? Tomorrow's press conference. He is getting a headache all day, all week. Headache. And tomorrow's press conference, he is going to abuse out from Tom, and you guys repeat, Tom and Harry. Who's the middle person? He loves to abuse, and he pauses whenever he has to abuse out the middle man. Tom and you know what? Tom and Harry. Tomorrow's press conference, he's going to lie and lie and lie. Oh, Brendan, Casey knows. All you guys know that. Oh, Tom, and you know what? He gets excited when he calls that name. Okay. All right. Some of you guys, naughty mind, right? At 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, my name is Mark Benchop. and welcome to Straight Up. What else is happening in Guyana? What else is happening in Guyana? I saw a letter to the editor by somebody who calls themselves, give themselves some title of doctor. I don't know where they got their doctorate from or the PhD, if at all, because these days people are buying things. And this name is not Lailal or whatever, some Jerry Lailal, is upset because these guys are in Guyana. And a lot of these racists, these dark-skinned Madras racists, they have no reason to be racist. Nothing about them. Absolutely nothing. And so they are because a group of, mainly all of them, I'm sure some of them are mixed with Cherokee and Caucasian and so forth, but the PPP Krapos are vexed because these folks are just a bunch of African Americans, according to the low lives like a Jerry Jailal, who claims that he lives in North Carolina. If Jerry understands the history of America, he would know that he can live in places like North Carolina as a result of sacrifices. And I repeat, sacrifices made by people like the very people he's cursing today. He says that these folks are low-level politicians. That is what he said. He lives in North Carolina, and these are the same kind of people who paved the way for people like Jalal to live in places like North Carolina. And then he says that he agrees with Irfan Ali. Of course he would agree with Irfan Ali. Of course. Birds of a feather together, right? You guys can... Birds of a feather together. And so he agrees with Irfan Ali that Irfan doesn't or shouldn't meet with these people. Now, his argument, and that's why, again, I'm saying, I don't know where he got his so-called PhD from. Put a big doctor in front of his name, right? Suddenly, all these guys are PhD. So he is saying that these people, and Irfan Ali is right not to meet with them because they're low level and they're this and that, because they're upset. This team, this visiting team to Guyana, people like Jailal or Lailal, they are upset. Here's why. He claims that these people are basically no value. Discrimination, he's racist, and that is what's happening. Now, most of these people met with Irfan Ali 2 years ago. But at that time, the likes of Krapo like Jailal, he loves that. He didn't complain about it then. It was beautiful then because it served their purpose. They loved it. The Lailal, Jailal, and the likes, they loved it. Some of these guys also, they wrecked Queens. Queens was a place, a community where our Indian brothers and sisters were not accepted. Some of them were chased out. Some of them couldn't do jandi. Some of them couldn't even rent basement or live in basement. I was there, I know. I participated in protest against those who were fighting to have Indian Guyanese or Indians from India removed from the community. And people like Jaila probably, they were nowhere around. But suddenly they have a voice. Everything for them is blacks are wrong. It's wrong. It's every single thing for those Paku. Those Paku. Every single thing. But a couple of years ago, most of these people met with Irfan. They met with the PPP and the likes of he calls himself a Dr. Jailal. Jerry Jailal. You know? So suddenly these people are bad people. According to the racists, the so-called wannabe racists, because these dark-skinned guys, these Madras-looking guys who constantly attack black people, persons of African descent, it has got to stop. But that is not all. That is not all. That is not all with this Lailal, this Lailal who lives in North Carolina, as he claims. God in heaven knows again where he got his PhD from. Then he took umbrage with an interview that I did with these people. We got Wayne Caesar with us. He took umbrage with the interview I did with this visiting team. And guess what he said? He said they were interviewed by treason accused. I love that. I don't have a problem with that. I walk around that with a badge of honor. Oh, sorry, we are live, right? Mr. Caesar, good evening to you. A badge of honor, I walk around with it. So the likes of a Jailal, he's not going to say that 2 years ago, these same people, Mr. Caesar, met with a fraudster, someone who was accused of fraud, 19 fraud charges, Irfan Ali. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say that they met with another fraudster, Jack Day with these guys. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say that some of them met with convicts in the PPP, child rapists in the PPP, and all these. They're not going to say that. Oh, so these people were interviewed by a treason accused. They get other guys around them who were charged. Some of them were convicted who are part of the PPP regime. But they're not going to say that. They always try to put a bad light on persons of African descent, but not me. Hey, you call me that? That is a badge of honor. If I got to go through it again, first thing, I have no regrets at all. But I say this to you guys. When you have a racist, a corrupt regime that persecutes its citizens, and that's what they did to me. So you want to call me a former treason accused? Fair enough. Look who he's coming from. I'm sure he probably went to America backtrack. I'm sure he probably was somewhere as a real estate thing and a bunch of robbery done in Queens, insurance fraud. That is what happened at one point in time in Queens. I don't know whether he was part of that. Lots of people died mysteriously as a result of insurance fraud and all manner of things. Call those people fraudsters. Call them convicts. But no, all these black people are bad. Every single thing is bad and bad. But we got to continue to reject and expose the likes of this wannabe doctor, probably a fake doctor, wherever he bought his PhD from. Enough of that quack. Good evening, Mr. Caesar.
Good evening, Mark. Good evening, Mark. I'm doing fine. And good evening to all our listeners and viewers. Mark, I'm not too familiar with the story here with this Dr. Jailal, but I would sure like to know who he is. And
what he did, Mr. Caesar, he wrote a letter to one of those papers that readily, give him little publicity. And he is saying that he agrees with Irfan Ali that Irfan Ali should not meet with these people, that these people are people of no value and so forth. But these are the same folks that Irfan Ali was eager to meet. He met with them. He sat with them at State House, ate with them, all manner of things right there at State House 2 years ago, but it was okay then. But it is not okay now. And that is what the likes of a Jailal, so he's abused out Burke. He abused out, well, he didn't call names, but he said they were interviewed by a former treason accused who was pardoned by the PPP government. He didn't say that the same former treason accused was wrongfully accused and spent 5+ years in solitary confinement and all manner of things. He's not going to say that because it doesn't suit his purpose. But that's basically in a nutshell, Mr. Caesar. Go ahead, sir.
So Mark, people like this guy, quote unquote, Dr. Jailal, because I would need to see his credentials based on how he's speaking, based on the line that he's taking here, because it seems to be very biased in nature in favor of the oppressive PPPC. And Dr. Jailal, I would want to first start addressing you as an oppressor. Since
Jailal,
Jailal, yeah. Since Jailal will take that position that he has taken, Mark, he is absolutely an oppressor and a racist. And I will not take that back. Okay? These people, they have to be careful what they say. When these same individuals would have met with Irfan Ali 2 years ago at the convenience of the PPPC, it is fine because it would land favorably for them because you have a set of, Afro-American delegates meeting with them. But since this mission here is a fact-finding mission, okay, they are out, to see if the PPPC is ill-treating Guyanese, which we have a preponderance of evidence that shows this. You understand me? It is not convenient to the PPPC. It will not be a beneficial mission for the PPPC. So hence, they do not want to meet with the delegates. So I don't see what's difficult in this Dr. Jailal, seeing what's happening here.
Yeah, quack Jailal.
He is blind.
Don't disrespect doctors. Quack Jailal. Quack. And so the visiting team, they're hurting. These folks are PPP. You know why? Because this time they're just not there to sit at State House and have breakfast or lunch with Irfan so that Irfan, they could cover things up. Already Irfan rushed to cover things up by saying that there's no evidence and that so forth and so on, thinking that these people were going to say, okay, there's no evidence, there's nothing, we're not going to go to Guyana. But the people went to Guyana. And this is how spiteful and vindictive and wicked and corrupt and racist Irfan Ali and his cabal, members of his cabal. This is what they did. They prevent these people, these same folks, from getting any security, nothing whatsoever. Leave them in the open. No greetings, no courtesy, no nothing. But when these people went to Guyana the first time 2 years ago, they had security escorts, they were picked up at the airport, and all manner of things. And the intention then was to basically control these people, cover them up, and so forth and so on. But this time around, because they're going there to sit and talk with all sides, the regime, the PPP regime, is upset. The bumps raise, and so forth and so on. The bumps raise, and so they don't really want these people around because they're not serving the purpose, the propaganda purpose of the PPP regime. So nobody was there to pick them up other than a few folks who are possibly responsible or probably decided to extend proper courtesy to these individuals. And so the PPP regime has discriminated against these people. They're exercising racism against these people. But you know what? Their work go on. They're in almost every community. They're walking, they're stopping, they're talking to people, they're collecting evidence, and all manner of things they're doing. And I say kudos to this visiting team, because you know what? They will get a different impression about Irfan Ali. I've noticed the leader of the group, and of course she's a politician, and she addressed Irfan Ali as she holds him in high esteem. Well, most of us in Guyana share a different view. But of course, I'm not here to say that what she said is wrong or whatever. She doesn't know these people. They're a pack of criminals. They're gangsters. 19 fraud charges. Irfan Ali, we cannot find his university where he graduated from. He was banned from going to Canada and all these sort of things. Look at Jack Deal. Corruption every single day. But the likes of Al Jailal, a fake Dr. Jailal, he's not going to say that those guys are former fraud accused, former fraudsters, convicts. Some of them are convicts in the. He's not going to say that. He's not.
Mark, she may have started off the trip, before she, came to Guyana and everything, holding him in high esteem. But I think at the conclusion of this trip, or analysis of him, I hope it should be different after what she and this group will uncover, the atrocities that this government would have committed against Guyanese. And listen, The way the government treated these delegates from the US coming into Guyana, it's a direct act of racism, Mark. Direct. There is no ifs and buts about it. We can see it. It's as clear as day. You know, when it was in their favor, they had security and everything in place for these people.
They love
now
them.
it's not in their favor. No security. And listen, we got to
you're
understand
not
this. The
saying-
Guyanese, the taxpayers is who pays for the security and all of these things. Okay, Guyana is not a one party. It's not a one party state. You have an opposition also, you know. And if we have delegates who's coming down, even to address the opposition, Mark, proper security should be in place. The opposition is a part of the government.
But let me say this, Mr. Caesar. The likes of Lailal and them, how hypocritical and stupid those guys are. Not so long ago, a group of politicians from Brooklyn and maybe Queens and so forth, same level as these folks, were welcomed in Guyana by the PPP regime, by Irfan Ali. They had police escorts. Some of them enjoyed the police escorts. They went around, visit friends, and they had fun. Same level, some of them are not even elected officials, and they were given police escorts and all manner of things, right? It was okay for the likes of the Lailals and them, because they were basically making the PPP look good. Oh, we are all one Guyana, we're having fun, and so forth. And so at that point in time, it was no problem for the likes of Ajailal and them. It was no problem. It was good. It was happy. It was fun. And so that group of politicians from Brooklyn, they just ran around, wine and dine, shook Irfan's hand, they hugged him, and they left. And what Guyanese got out of it? Absolutely nothing, because most of those people from Brooklyn, the state senators and assemblywomen and so forth and so on, guess what? They're gone back. They might be saying things privately, but they have nothing else to say about discrimination in Guyana. Nothing else to say. But these very people, elections coming around the corner, they want the Guyanese people to go out and vote for them. But yet they're not going to stand up and say anything concerning the atrocities and the racial and political discrimination and more in Guyana. They're not going to say anything. But yet they left Guyana. Let me say this to you, Mr. Caesar. They left Guyana, and the taxpayers got to foot the bill of over 150 million Guyana dollars for the few days that they spent there. You know why? The security that they got, the accommodation that they got, the taxpayers got to pay for that. And even before they left the US, guess who was in control of them? The PPP and the Guyana consulate. Those PPP operatives at the Guyana consulate. So all of them are happy. The likes of a Lailal and them, they're very happy. But they're disturbed about this group because they cannot wine and dine them. They cannot control this group. And so they're vexed. Their bumps raised. They don't want to meet with them. They don't want to offer them security. They want to treat them just like they're treating majority of Guyanese, like they are nobodies. Continue. Over to you.
Mark, I really think that some disciplinary action should be, taken against this government, for leaving U.S. officials unprotected in Guyana, knowing, what can happen in Guyana, that it's concerning, very, very, very concerning. And that being said, with the taxpayers having to foot all these bills, okay, we have delegates coming into the country across the board. It doesn't matter who they're coming and visit. Because like I would have said a bit earlier, the opposition is also considered a part of the government. But that just shows how this government is so set in their ways, when it comes to their racist posture and the continued marginalization of those who does not support them. The Guyanese people have to look at these things and understand that we are talking about Guyana from a holistic perspective. And we cannot have these type of incompetent people sitting in government that does not represent us the way we need to be represented. I tell you this, Mark, Guyanese are very, very educated people. And to have a man who is sitting there in the office calling himself president, to be that uneducated, you understand me, and doesn't even understand how to be hospitable to officials that is coming into Guyana, you know, when they're not supporting the PPP and their cause. And what's the PPP's cause? To get rich, you know, to continue to be a transactional government, and to totally ignore and forget the Guyanese people that should be the first course of business for them, you know. And people, I hope that, you know, the Guyanese people are looking at these things. They are listening and they're seeing what's occurring right before their eyes, Mark. And they remember these things and they vote correctly whenever elections falls, because I'm not going to say 2025. I don't know when it's going to happen. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. We don't know when it's going to happen, and the people have to ensure that they stand up for their rights. And I am sure that the people will, come next elections, vote this corrupt PPP regime out of office. The visiting team, they will have a town hall meeting. We here at 107.1 FM, we will give you that information whenever we get the information, and so that members of the public can go out in their numbers and voice their concerns. Thousands of people have serious concerns in Guyana, and I am certain that as the visiting team headed by Dee Hegler and her team, that they have unearthed a bunch of information, sad information about serious racial discrimination in Guyana practiced by the PPP regime. All forms of discrimination by the PPP regime. And I wish that there are more folks would visit Guyana and to see firsthand, hear firsthand what is happening. And so this whole back and forth about Burke and who knew it was predicted. It was predicted. And I've got to talk to Burke also, but it was predicted that they wanted a scapegoat and to make it look on their supporters, oh, we don't want to meet with this team because they are supposed to, there is some connection with them and Burke. And there's really no connection. The people said they don't even know Burke. They don't even know his organization. And then they jump now to say, well, why part of your press release said that Roysdale Ford or Kathy Hughes and others who made a speech? Whatever these people say, it is being circulated. And so it's really infantile of the PPP, but not unexpected. To hell with them. We got better things to do, better things to talk about. And I wish these people well in Guyana. I hope that they are secured, that they are safe, because if anything happened to any one of them,
heads are going to roll. Heads are going to roll if anything happens to anyone.
Let me say that there are lots of other things happening. But this team here, I heard that they're having a great time in terms of gathering information on the ground. I heard that two of them broke down in tears when they heard some stories. You know, and when I heard that they broke down in tears, I almost broke down in tears. Apart from having first-hand information about how corrupt and racist the PPP regime is, these people broke down in tears when they heard the sad stories of so many Guyanese. It is not easy living in Guyana at this, and I repeat, guys, they broke down in tears. Things that the regime were expecting to cover up, they have been exposed at this point in time, and it is not over yet. It is just not over yet. I hope they get a chance to meet a lot of people like this lady. They are punishing in Guyana.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a
Paku man. A Paku. But, you know, on a serious note, lots and lots of problems in Guyana. And that is why we're saying, and we're urging you guys right here on 107.1 FM to go out in your numbers at this town hall meeting. Go out in your numbers. We will give you the time and the location and so forth. And we will, as long as we have time available, we will broadcast it. In fact, we shouldn't even think of whether time is available. We should make an effort, Mr. Wayne Caesar, to broadcast it live and direct right here so that thousands of people could view it via the internet. But we want to see hundreds upon hundreds of people on the ground. What else is happening in Guyana, Mr. Caesar? Let me see here. Tomorrow, this guy will be holding his press conference tomorrow. You know he's going to be lying and lying and lying and lying and lying. But over to you.
Yeah, I know that the Grinch will be holding his press conference tomorrow. But Mark, I want to go back to what you would have said, that, we had two of the delegates that would have broken down in tears. And I just want to add a bit to that. I know that many of our listeners and viewers that are here listening and watching right now would have broken down in tears at some point when they would have seen the atrocities that are occurring across Guyana. Because Mark, as big and tough as I may be, I've broken down in tears many times, and I've gotten angry many times, had to hold my tongue, a lot of times, man. It's overbearing. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done ASAP. When the people do decide, Mark, that they want to rise up and they want to shut Guyana down and just close off everything, I hope that those big financiers, and I don't care which country, I don't care which country it is, all those who are ripping Guyana apart financially and getting all, the gains from Guyana, I hope that they're not upset. I hope that they don't choose to try to hurt anybody, because this that is happening here right now, Mark, no one seems to be taking heed, and when the people respond, they will respond aggressively.
Well,
and just to touch back a little bit, these Venezuelans that are coming into Guyana also, Mark, they're not properly vetted, man. And there are a lot of crimes that are being committed. And the crime seems to be being committed against one type of individuals. So while Jack Dio might be thinking, he's getting Venezuelans in and he's going to make, his voting pool for the PPPC robust, it's causing a lot of violence in our country. I'm not saying, Mark, that all Venezuelans are bad, but I'm saying that we need to have a proper vetting system. We have the money, we have the finances, therefore we should put a proper vetting system in place to vet individuals coming into Guyana. The violence is picking up, and to me, in my estimation, it is only going to get worse. And if the country at some point becomes unstable, Mark, Barajagyo is the one to blame. He's the one that is making these underhand deals.
The entire PPP regime, they've already made a serious blunder. And as you brought in this Venezuelan topic here now, Barajagyo deliberately did this. They're not vetting these Venezuelans. Nobody's saying that they shouldn't have folks from other parts of the world to go into a country. Lots of Guyanese go all over. They go in Barbados. Some work hard. Some just about and not far from the market side. They go to Trinidad. Some in Port of Spain as well. They work hard. Guyanese work hard, but they got some one and two knockabouters, so to speak. And even in the U.S., they get Guyanese going in. And so nothing is wrong with people going into Guyana. So we can't be that selfish. But what we're saying is just like when Guyanese go to other parts of the world, Guyanese are vetted for the most part. And you just cannot have thousands upon thousands of Venezuelans going into Guyana without being properly vetted. Despite what Jack Davis is saying, it is not true. They're not vetted. They're just not. They're allowed to go there. And a lot of them are going and working for some of these so-called business people who are connected to the PPP regime. And I hope that this wouldn't be the case, that some of these guys who are coming in from Venezuela were part of gangs and so forth. I hope some of the PPP drug lords and the PPP drug lord business friends wouldn't start hiring Venezuelans to do their dirty work, to become contract killers and so forth. I hope that is not the case. As we look at the time here, there's something else that I want to, let me show the people what's happening in Guyana. Region 2 belongs to Guyana. All of Guyana belongs to Guyana, all 83. And if the acting commissioner of police is watching, I want him to know that all 83,000 square miles belong to Guyana. But when we look at these new recruits, though, the very people that they like to cuss up, oh, black this and hungry belly and so, look, for the most part, look who they're depending on to go at the borders, to represent and protect Guyana. Look, you're not seeing Ravi Dev, anybody for Ravi Dev there. You're not seeing anybody for Jailal there. You're not seeing anybody for Tara Singh there. You're not seeing anybody for Irfan Ali there. You're not seeing anybody for Jack Deere there. No, absolutely not. But then again, when the recruiting process of the GDF and the police force is open, look, one set of people, for the most part, one set of people go. One set of people. And then they jump and say that there must be balance, ethnic balance. Why is it that Ravi Dev and Lailal and Tara Singh and these other guys, well, Tara Singh and them guys they already mess up Queens. They destroyed Queens. But the ones in Guyana, why is it that we're not seeing Ravi Dev and these other guys on the forefront, urging members from within their communities or mandirs or so forth to say, bye, I gotta go join the army, bye. But no, they're not going to do that. They're going to wait until they see the chief of staff of the army, African, and then they get vexed. They get vexed. But this is the evidence as to what's happening in the country. Then the other news now, murders on the rise under the PPP regime. Drugs on the rise, cocaine, smuggling, murders, all manner of things on the rise under the PPP regime. Cost of living on the rise, murders on the rise, drug exportation on the rise, domestic problems on the rise, all manner of things on the rise. Compliments of a bad, corrupt PPP regime. Over to you, man. Over to you.
Well, listen, Mark, these things all start at the top, right? Peter Headley was executed. Orrin Boston was executed in his bed, sleeping. Courtney Crumb-Ewing was executed. Ronald Waddle was executed. The Henry boys were sacrificed. You know, hey, come on. These things only happen under one government, the PPPC. It just depicts what the government is all about. So, Mark, when you say murder is on the rise, it doesn't surprise me one bit. What happens at the top trickles down to the bottom.
Is that me saying that? The police, they're saying it. The crime chief is
correct.
saying it.
Correct.
The crime chief is saying it, sir. Not me.
Good.
I am not the one who's, well, 1 second, comrade. I am not the one who's spreading propaganda. They're the ones who are giving the facts. The crime chief said murders on the rise. The crime chief, looky there, right there, Blanham.
Mark, we're seeing it every day. We are seeing it every day. Okay, and it's gonna continue to go up because people are getting frustrated. Mark, you're having a lot of robberies also. That's what happens when you have a dead economy. They might want to say fastest growing economy for who in Guyana? For the rich. But for the poor, it's a dead economy because they're not getting anything from it. Okay? So these people, and Carl Greenwich said it so gracefully. When we talk about growth in an economy, we need to look at it from top to bottom. And in Guyana, we're just looking at the top, Mark. We need to see what's happening at the bottom where we have the common Guyanese. Guyana have no middle class, Mark. There's no middle ground in Guyana. There's rich and then there's very poor. You understand me? And it is ridiculous. Why? Because we have less than 1 million people in Guyana that this installed regime cannot even control, and make Guyana a poverty-free state. And now we have
They're
this
not
influx of Venezuelans into the country. How are we going to control this all?
they're
Only
not
God in heavens know.
interested.
Over to you, sir.
They're not, thank you, Mr. Caesar. They're not interested in anything good for Guyana. They're not. That is why they want to cover everything up. And after this fact-finding mission team is out of Guyana, and again, we pray for their safety, because Air Finale, they left these people wide open for them to be hurt by one of their fanatics. The likes of a Lailal and these guys, they're fanatics. They're not patriots, they are fanatics. They are wannabe, dark-skinned, Madras, racist. Now, I'm not saying that because they're Madras, I'm saying that they're dark-skinned, but they love to talk about black folks, and they're dark-skinned people. And so they don't like, because they're being exposed for who they are and what they are about. Thousands upon, I've noticed Rhonda Lane made a comment earlier, and good evening to Rhonda. Rhonda is a good soldier, and we got to love and appreciate Rhonda. And, I oftentimes say, if you're going home for Christmas, y'all don't forget Rhonda. Carry something for Rhonda. She wears size 12 shoes or 11. Rhonda, and I'm not saying that to laugh at Rhonda. She's a good soldier. Not because she's size 12 foot, but, she's a good soldier. Rhonda said she went to Georgetown to look for the team, and she couldn't find them. I'm sorry that you did that, Rhonda. But hopefully when I get some information, hopefully I will share that with you guys concerning the town hall meeting should be held at Crystal Labor College. I will bring that to your attention so that, Rhonda, you will get that opportunity to talk your story, my friend. You will get that opportunity. Now, we were talking about the increase in crimes, and robbery is on the increase. We have seen this from the PPP regime. They're robbing people every day. That's where, but they're focusing on the small man snatching a pocket book or a wallet outside in the streets. Not that we shouldn't focus on that, but what about those corrupt politicians like Jack Deo and Irfan and all of his ministers who are thieving and robbing from poor people? Every single day, that's what they do. And then they have companies in Guyana robbing from the taxpayers too. $214 million, Wayne. $214 million, and everybody's quiet. Nobody's talking about $214 million any longer. Nothing. It is washed, it is under the rug, and that's it. Talk to us briefly about this, Mr. Caesar.
Yeah, Mark, my internet was down there for a bit, so I didn't get everything that you.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happens, Mr. Caesar. And we've got to have a GoFundMe here going for you guys to move from Verizon and be like me. Get the best package. I use GT&T. Oh, they don't have GT&T here. I'm like that weirdo commissioner of police. But go ahead. $214 million unaccounted for taxpayers' money.
The $240 million, I think they were able to get 3 million. I think what's unaccounted for is the 211. We need that money, Mark. We have pensioners who are punishing. Our teachers are underpaid. Our nurses are underpaid. The Guyanese people could do with a hefty stipend for Christmas across the board. We need to increase salaries across the board, even for those working in the private sector. Those people also need a raise. And also we need to find a way in Guyana to put forth some tax cuts, man. I feel like if the Guyanese people are paying so much taxes, man, and, there's no room for growth. There's no room for them to amass any sort of wealth. Everything seems to be sucked out of them by the government and the hierarchy, that falls into the PPPC ring of corrupt leaders, and this needs to stop, Mark. This needs to stop. The Guyanese people, it doesn't seem to be a path for them, and with this delegation down on the ground in Guyana, we really, really need to take advantage we need to get all our stories out there. You know, even from a financial perspective, where you stand, how you're living day to day, Mark. Because listen, I cannot stand, Mark, hearing children starving, going to bed at night and going to school, hungry, Mark.
all
Shameful.
all of
Shameful
these
in oil producing Guyana, quote unquote, the fastest growing economy.
all
PPPC, you guys gotta really be kidding me.
all
Irfan
of
Ali,
these
you guys need to vacate
all
government. You need to
all
vacate government ASAP. Over to you,
all
sir.
of all of these people with issues need to head down whenever they're having this town hall meeting at Critchlow Labor College in your hundreds. Go down there. I noticed that Rhonda Lane said that a picture of her cousin was murdered somewhere in Blackwater area. Folks, just be mindful and the graphic photographs. Lots and lots of graphic photographs. It can have that sort of effect on folks, and some horrific photographs. Sometimes people share, and sometimes people share at the wrong hours in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Guys, please have some discretion with folks. No one wants to wake up, and I'm not being wholehearted at all. Nobody wants to wake up with that sort of graphic thing as the first thing on their minds. So be very careful when you share photographs and what time you share photographs. And before you send a graphic video or graphic photograph to somebody, at least seek their permission first, if it's okay. That's all. And so let me take, and this is not about Rhonda Lane, but let me take this opportunity to say condolences to you, Rhonda Lane, and your family, and condolences to other folks who are listening who might probably experiencing some sort of sad situation in your life at this point in time, because a lot of bad things, very, very bad things are happening in Guyana. Before we close off tonight's program, let me say this, Wayne, that had it not been for modern times and social media and all these manner of things, the PPP would have blocked these people from going to Guyana. If they were tempted to block them, to stop them from going to Guyana. That is why they immediately issued that statement that they're not going to meet with these people. They were hoping that these people, these leaders, these respectable people, were going to change their minds. And thank God they did not change their minds. And thank God they are in Guyana. And thank God they're getting the truth firsthand from the people. It's a shame that those other folks from Brooklyn who were manipulated by the PPP even before they got to Guyana, uh, Senator Roxanne Prasad, State Senator Roxanne Prasad, and others were manipulated by the PPP. And so they just went there and we heard nothing. It's like they don't care about what is happening to our folks in Guyana. But thank God, these brave people are there. And that is why if you see them on the streets, if you see them driving by, if you see them walking, stop and salute them. Stop and shake their hands. Stop and say thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to be there in Guyana, because it is evident that they care, that they are concerned about the plight of the people in the country. We thank them. They are heroes. They are brave ones, because guess what? Guyana is not an easy place, and they could have easily canceled their trip after that racist Irfan Ali and his installed PPP regime refused to meet them. But who wants to meet Irfan anyways? Who wants to meet them? As corrupt as Irfan Ali and his gang are, who wants to meet them? Give us a break. I'm glad that they didn't contaminate themselves by meeting Irfan and his gang.
Mark,
Wait,
Mark, you was saying that social media, uncovers
yeah,
so much. And listen, I'm very, very thankful for social media, because there's so many Guyanese on the ground who would have stepped forward, and had their voices heard. And if it wasn't for social media, I'm telling you, half of them would have already been executed. by the PPPC government. They have a reputation, Mark.
Killing citizens.
They have a reputation of
murdering, Mr. Caesar, murdering, assassinating citizens, jailing citizens wrongfully. So let the likes of a Lailal, the wannabe racist, ignoramus, fraudsters who are watching this here that are connected to the PPP. The PPP has a history of murdering its citizens, assassinating its citizens, jailing its citizens, chasing its citizens out of the country. Not Burnham. So let them not talk about Burnham and PNC and so forth and so on. Now, the PNC and those guys weren't perfect, mind you, but they were angels. Burnham was an angel compared to these convicts, these criminals in the PPP regime. Jack Dale and all of them. Burnham is a schoolboy compared to this criminal Barra Jack Dale.
And Mark,
Irfan Ali.
And Mark, don't forget the wrongful persecution that we would have seen Mr. Paul Slow, Winston Jordan, Rascal Myers, Keith Lowenfield.
Persecution.
Yeah, persecution. Yes, sir.
Persecution, not wrongful, but deliberately persecuting these guys.
Yes.
Paul Slow, all of them being persecuted. The wrongful charges against those individuals, those vagabonds in the PPP regime. If I have my way right now, we're still live, right?
Yes, they should all sue the state. They should all sue the state and they would win. They should all sue the state.
I'm not talking about suing the state. Calm down, Mark. Calm down. There's a murderous regime. And I'm glad that these folks didn't go and eat with them at State House this time around. I'm glad they have not gotten that opportunity. So Miss Dowlins and others, we appreciate all of you guys. And we are glad that you guys are not going to go to sit and meet with the regime. They are corrupt and they are individuals to stay far from. They mean no good for humanity nor Guyanese. Let's look at some of the comments here. Somebody's saying here, well, not somebody. Connie, how are you doing? Long time no see. Connie's asking a question here, Mr. Caesar. So, is your internet still there, Mr. Caesar, or it's gone?
I'm here with you. I'm due for an update at 9:10, so I may get cut off.
No problem.
But I'm going to come back to the extent you're going to be there. Are you going to come off?
It happens with Verizon, but just a quick 30 seconds before you go, just say your closing remarks because I'm getting off soon too. But go ahead. Anything before you go?
No, listen, Mark, we just have to continue to be frontal as a people in Guyana, understand our rights, stand up for them, because not standing up is only going to put us in a worse position. Listen, Mark, I have a lot of hope for Guyana going forward. I am confident that the PPPC will no longer be there whenever the next election do occur, and there is going to be, good living for the Guyanese people. They need a break, Mark. It's been a few decades now that Guyanese have been living under these conditions with a 5-minute break under the coalition to live a bit more comfortable and a bit more safe. We need to get back to a safe Guyana. I would love to go back to Guyana and enjoy myself with the people of Guyana, but the country needs to be safe. And that would start with a new government being in place, a proper new government being in place, and this lawless government being removed. The PPPC is no good for Guyana. Their time is up. It's time to go. They've had their opportunity. They've had their opportunity with the oil monies, and we see what they have done. Absolutely nothing for the people of Guyana. So it is time for Guyana to move forward, and I feel like if the people and the country is prepared to move forward without the PPPC, and they should never see power again in Guyana. Thank you so much, sir, for having me tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne Caesar, and good luck to you, and thank you again, and good luck to your internet as well. Get the better package next time. Thank you, Mr. Caesar.
All right. That's a nice cheap shot, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, sir. Yeah, it's not a cheap shot at all. Let me assure Mr. Wayne Caesar that it's not a cheap shot at all. It's actually a fair shot. Get a better internet, Wayne. You guys know it's just poking fun. So Connie Alstrom is saying here. So are we campaigning against Roxanne Prasad and company? And now let me say this to you guys. What sense does it make to vote for individuals who do not represent your interest? That's all I'm asking, a question. What good does it make for you guys or people in general to keep voting for people who do not represent your interest or do not feel your pain or see the suffering of you and your people and ignore it, pretend that it doesn't exist? For me, I wouldn't be going in any voting booth to vote for anyone who ignores the plight of your community, your people, the people within that community, and those who turn a blind eye to persecution, to atrocities, and so forth happening. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. And as people prepare to go out and vote, in the next elections in Brooklyn or wherever else, sit amongst your table as a family to discuss how important your vote is to whomever you're voting for. Have that discussion. If Connie Alstrom is running for office, ask the question, is Connie Alstrom good for us, our community? Ask that question. And if Connie Alstrom is not good for your community, not good for you, doesn't feel your pain, dodge around from you, and is afraid to speak out against injustices against the very people of whom most these politicians are flirting for votes, it is time that even the overall Guyanese community start voting, but vote smartly. Vote for people who are brave to stand up and represent your interest. Take a look at these folks who are in Guyana right now. And that is why we've got to, and thank you so much for that comment, Miss Connie Alstrom. Thank you. Take a look at these folks. None of them are Guyanese. Not a single one of them are Guyanese. Not even anybody, any relative from Guyana, as far as I'm aware. But yet they dropped what they were doing to go to Guyana, and they are brave enough to say that they are investigating allegations of racism. But when you ask some of these politicians who went to Guyana recently, hey, they don't want to talk. They're afraid to talk. Oh, one of them said, I believe it was Senator Prasad, State Senator Roxanne Prasad, who said, oh, no. We weren't a fact-finding mission. We didn't go to FIDA. In other words, to hell with you guys who are talking about discrimination and all. We didn't go to FIDA. But these folks, these heroes, look, salute to you, Dr. D. Hegler. She's a real doctor, not a fake doctor like you see like Lively and those kind of guys. Representative John King, kudos to you. Representative Dr. Amber Baker, kudos to you. Representative Deborah Barnmore of Baseball of Georgia. Representative, the names of Texas House. Senator Hillman, State Senator, kudos to you. Representative Hardway, kudos to you. Representative McDaniel, kudos to you. State Senator Gerald Neal, kudos to you. And all the others. Marcus Coleman. I saw Marcus Coleman made a nice TikTok as he was some like Glenn Al for a minute TikTok. And Marcus Coleman was on TikTok talking about walking the streets, and that is what I love about these people. They are brave people who are there doing their things to ensure that they listen to everyone. Everyone they are there to listen to. Kudos to them. But they're not Guyanese. They didn't have to drop what they were doing to go to Guyana. They're not going there for fame. They're not going there to be in the front magazine of the front page of Essence, of which I think they should. No, they're going there because they're concerned about serious allegations of racial discrimination, about persecution, and so forth and so on. That is why they are in Guyana. But no, some of those elected officials in Brooklyn, or most of them, don't want to talk about discrimination and acts of racism and all these sort of things in Guyana. They went there and they ate roti and dal puri and pulori and white pudding and black pudding with Irfan Ali and his team. And they get security, they drove around. Is that how? Oh, sorry about that. I made a blunder with that. Meow around the tongue. And they love that with taxpayers' money. Over $150 million spent. But no, they don't want to talk about anything. Oh, they want to turn a blind eye away from acts of racism and discrimination. That's what they want to do. Shame on them. Some of them probably won't even take my calls back. It's okay. Better they talk to me or not. I don't lose sleep over that. I don't beg them to talk to me. That's not me. And so when it comes to elections time, right here on this platform, we will be talking to the people. And we will ask the people to vote for those who represent your interests, those who identify with you and your problems, and those who feel your pains. Not those who want to rub shoulders and shake hands with the oppressors in Guyana or wherever and feel that it is hunky-dory, that we should just ignore it. And can't we all get along? And that I am not for this side or that side. Well, if you're not from this side or that side, well, then carry your other side, right? You cannot want to depend on a majority of people in Brooklyn, and just using Brooklyn as an example, to go out and vote for you. And then when you go to a country where majority of those people are from, who are being persecuted, their families, their friends, and so forth, who are being persecuted, who are being discriminated against, they can't get jobs. All they get is a little pittance. If they're lucky enough, they're being discriminated. They don't get jobs. They don't get contracts. Their family members are being persecuted through fictitious trumped up charges, whether it's trumped up electoral charges, whatever it is. And then you return to the very community, and the bulk of people who vote to put you in office are from that community, that oppressed group of people back in Guyana. But you want to turn a blind eye from that. And then you want to turn to those people in Brooklyn, in your communities, to say, go and vote for you. Oh, vote for me. I'm a fair person. No. When it comes to injustices, there's no such thing as sitting on the fence. There's no such thing as sitting on the fence and feel that, oh, I'm not for any side. Give me a goddamn break. Some of them go to church. How do they feel when they go to church? Isn't there a part in the Bible that says when you see an injustice that's meted out to your brother or your sister and you turn a blind eye, you're equally as guilty as the perpetrator? And those who sit on the fence and talk about, oh, you're neutral, are dangerous people. There is no neutrality when it comes to injustice. None whatsoever. You've got to say, you've got to be on the side of justice. If you're not on the side of justice and you're sitting on the fence, you are on the side of the oppressors. So again, I say, and that is why, I got to meet this team. When they return, I have to meet with them. And even the same team, we can invite the same team, guys, for a town hall meeting in Brooklyn so that they can get to hear how you, as Guyanese Americans, feel also about the discrimination and all manner of discrimination back home in Guyana. We've got to meet this team. How many of you guys believe that we should invite this team to Brooklyn at a town hall meeting? How many of you guys feel that we should do that? How many of you? Let me see how many of you in Brooklyn, Queens, wherever you are willing to meet these people. Shake their hands. They are heroes. Shake their hands and say, thank you. Thank you for what you guys are doing. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing, guys. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Representative John King. Thank you, State Senator Fraser. Thank you, Representative McDaniel. Thank you, Representative Hardaway. Thank you, Representative State Senator Nell. Thank you, State Senator Rell. Thank you, Marcus Coleman. Thank you, Dr. Andre Pickett. Thank you, Mr. Price. Thank you all on behalf of all the listeners right here on 107.1 FM. We thank you from the bottom, as they would say on the quarantine, the bottom of my heart. I see many people want to see you guys in Brooklyn. What we will do is we will discuss as a team and extend an invitation to all of these folks for a meeting in Brooklyn so that they can hear that the persecution and the discrimination is not only in Guyana, it is happening over here, and how badly the Guyana consulate is being run and the Guyana embassy in Washington, D.C. that we don't know, we don't hear anything, but they are acts of racism and discrimination as well at the embassy and the consulate in Manhattan. It's not over yet, guys. It's not over yet. And while the people are punishing in the country, whether to cost of living or whatever, this is what Corn Curls and Puppy Chow are doing every single day.
I love you in every way. I don't know why.
I'll tell you.
Oh, why? I don't know why. Oh, why? Oh, yes.
Woman, you may not be well in a drive a fast car. Come in and go left you out and when you come from far. You remember when me only.
What a waste. And even as we prepare to end this show tonight, Air Finale is out of the country, spending hundreds upon hundreds of thousands US dollars, taxpayers' money. For what? He has gone to beg again. An oil-rich country worth billions upon billions of dollars, and you have a fake president. Every time he travels, he begs and 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 he begs. Hundreds of millions of US dollars. They take loans upon loans upon loans upon loans. And so if we get $1 billion in return of all oil revenue, we already owe $10 billion. By the time we have elections in 2025, when it's constitutionally due, Guyana is a bankrupt country. Compliments of the PPP regime. And so while they're dancing, guess what? Guess what? Monkey see, monkey do. It's like nobody cares any longer. Donkey down. Everybody dance. We might as well just dance and do.
I said, look at him. Look this. Wait. Woo! 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 gotta go from this side too.
The girl comes from the wine from Snapchat.
Oh my God.
You got to pray for our country. All 83. All 83.
I've lived in Guyana and I've attended multilateral school. And for my primary days in school to secondary school, I've learned and I've understood that Guyana covers 83 square miles of landmass. I didn't hear that. Square miles, I said that. I said 83,000 square miles.
I said, look at him. Look this. Wait. Woo! Whoa!
Love you guys. Be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. And let's pray for these folks who are in Guyana, these brave people, along with fellow Guyanese who are going through tremendous, tremendous hardships in Guyana. Again, thank you to these folks who are currently in Guyana. God bless you all. Until tomorrow, same place, same time. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jasniti Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
With another one, Messiah. Aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop. Radio station is the truth. Mark Ben stop. Straight up from the root. Mark Ben stop. Who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop. Radio station is the truth. Mark Ben stop. Straight up from the root. Mark Ben stop. I do it for the love. Him not do it for no money. Straight up. Him attack. Educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up and stop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop. Radio station is the truth. Mark Ben stop. Straight up from the root.